antidote for the anger is love, in the kindness. But when you are already angry, you cannot generate love at that point. So what you need to do is, you need to train yourself in kindness and love throughout the time. If you do it in that way, you will reduce the chances of having anger arising in yourself. That is the best way to use this antidote. Now, if you are already angry, then your facial expression will definitely come out. That impact you cannot stop. But you can still do something to kind of, to trick yourself. Like there are those proverbs from the Western societies, like when you are angry, count for 10, or something like those kind of things. There are a whole lot of those methods. And in Buddhism, you try to focus on your mind, you try to focus on your breath and try to count the breath 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, whatever it is. So that is a way to kind of avoid to let a kind of big destructive results of anger coming out. But then the minor kind of results of anger you cannot avoid even by doing those things. As soon as you are angry, the expression, physical expression will definitely come out. So this is one way of usage of the antidote to how to avert those things. And then there are all the different varieties of emotions. If you feel a sense of arrogance, then according to the Buddhism, the sense of arrogance, the kind of authentic antidote for the sense of arrogance is contemplate on the vastness of the knowledge or studies of Buddhist teachings, like how detailed information there are about 12 links of dependent origination, the 5 aggregates, and 18 constituents, and all those things. There are a whole lot of those things. So this is one way of reducing. This is a very helpful method or helpful contemplation to reduce the arrogance, sense of arrogance in yourself. But it also works in the same way as I told earlier. If you have problems with the sense of arrogance, you need to train yourself daily, in a regular basis, in doing the contemplation of those things, so that will help you to reduce your sense of arrogance. And then sense of desirous attachment is another emotion. And to encounter that, what you can do is you can try to contemplate on, basically we say, the sense of ugliness or sense of inattractiveness. There are a whole lot of those ways to do it. Like if it is a kind of attractive house, kind of attractive bungalow, you see, you generate sense of desirous attachment to have it, that kind of thing. Then if it is already aroused, then you have to use the kind of tricks to stop it. But basically in your life, to kind of encounter that kind of desirous attachment, what you need to do is you need to contemplate on this kind of changing nature, ever-changing nature, impermanence. This may appear very attractive at this point, but after 10 years, it could be kind of old structure, may not be this attractive. After 50 years, it could be completely kind of an old structure, and even if someone like offer it to in a very cheap rate, probably you may kind of not be willing or not be interested to have it. That kind of thing. So in the same way, it also applies. Like if someone has this problem of like if it is a male getting attracted to the woman, then they can also apply the same kind of contemplation, changing nature of the woman body. And there are a lot of ways to contemplate it. Like the ways to contemplate it, like how it gets dismantled in the course of time. In the course of time, how its kind of tissues and its skin, the kind of the shining of the skin changes, and it fades out. So those kind of contemplation. In the similar way, if a woman had that kind of problem with getting easily attracted by a kind of opposite male, then they can also use the same kind of techniques to reduce that kind of mentality. This helps a lot, but you need to do it in a regular basis. You cannot apply that in an immediate manner when you have those kind of desirous attachment arose. So these are the things. And the next paragraph also teaches us how to train properly. It is and the paragraph is, whenever I see wicked and beings powered by bad deeds and suffering, by accepting them as finding a precious treasure, may I cherish them as the rarest thing I own. Now, this is quite common in our life. Whenever, though we basically try to be kind and try to be kind of nice, then suddenly, if we encounter someone who's insult us and who scold us, who do something like that we feel like is unfair to us, then we definitely end up in losing that calmness and that peace of ourselves. And then we probably feel like this is my right to react, and we may end up in saying all the bad things and end up in doing all the bad things. So this is one of the very challenging portion in our practice. So this is one portion. Another portion is like while we live in a society where everything looks glittery and shining and perfect, then we may appear like we are in peace. Then suddenly, when we see someone in a very poor and very pitiful situation, then we have that feeling to try to avoid that as soon as possible, so to be not being affected by that. If we see someone very seriously sick, so try to avoid that as soon as possible to avoid getting affected by that kind of sickness or whatever it is. In such a circumstances, it is very important to train ourselves furthermore than what we do in our life. That if we are a bodhisattva, if we are one who seriously cherish this precious and valuable mentality, bodhicitta, then we cannot afford to do that. Even if it is the worst person who brings all the varieties of problems to us, we need to cherish them. We need to do best of ourselves to bring happiness to that person, to bring benefit to that person. So this is a challenging moment when our commitment, when our practice comes to a crossroads. So in such a circumstances, we need to be really very, very, alert and very, very careful that we should not do something against our own practice. So we should, instead of abandoning them, we should be doing something to cherish them. We should be doing something to benefit them and help them. That is something, if we are seriously practicing bodhicitta, then we should do it in that way. That is one of the instructions that we need to train. And then the next instruction, when others in jealousy treat me badly by scolding, abusing, and slandering, etc., may I happily accept the defeat and offer the victory to others. It may happen very often in our life, in a in our career, in our professional life, in our family life, whatever else. In many times, there could be quarreling between the husband and wife. There could be quarreling between, or there could be arguments between those colleagues in the workplace. So in all those circumstances, it could be due to the jealousy, due to unfair treatment, due to any kind of those things. So in any kind of those things, if others try to put you down, then it is important to train oneself properly in the Buddhist Bodhisattva's values and let them win, and then take the defeat and the loss for oneself, and learn how to be happy with taking the loss for oneself. If someone does that, then they can train properly in the Bodhisattva's values, in the Bodhisattva's conduct. Unless, if such circumstances is faced, then do everything necessary to win oneself and to defeat others. And then through doing that, if we keep claiming that I'm a Bodhisattva, or I'm a one who admires the Bodhisattva's bodhicitta and the values and the conduct of the Bodhisattva, then it's just a lip service, or just cheating some other way. So then the next paragraph is once again it teaches us how to train properly. The paragraph number 6. And this paragraph number 6 says, if someone who I helped greatly and in whom I harbor great expectation unjustly cause great harm to me, may I accept them as my divine mentor. So, what we do in our life regularly is we help others, we try to be helpful to others, but then those people to whom we have help, to whom we have provided care, and we have given love and kindness, if some of them, they do something that is against our expectation, then we get mad. That's very common. But bodhisattva, a man or a woman who cherishes the conduct of bodhisattva need to avoid that. Instead of abandoning them, instead of saying bad about them, they should feel like this person is my divine mentor or divine teacher, and this person, as someone who's giving me this trouble and problem, is providing me the chance to do the practice of bodhicitta, to do the practice of patience. So this is a kind of a great help. So this is a great kind of a teacher that has come in front of me. So I have to accept them in that way, instead of doing all the necessary things to help kind of harm them, all those in one's capability to harm them. This is an important training. So the next paragraph is the final paragraph to train us into the this conventional trainings of the Bodhisattva's conduct, and it says that and it's also a kind of a summary of all the previous passages. Now in this summary it says that, in brief, may I offer all benefits and joy to great mothers, the sentient beings, directly or indirectly. May I secretly take upon myself all harm, troubles and woes of my mothers. So, in brief, whatever is explained in all those previous 6 verses is summarized in this one. It says that, in brief, what I need to do when I train myself into the Bodhisattva's conduct is offer all the benefits and happiness and joy to others. Will it be directly or indirectly? It doesn't matter. Offer all the joy and benefits to others, because we cherish others, we kind of treat them precious and valuable, so we need to do that. And may I secretly take upon myself all harm and troubles and woes of mothers. Now, here in these 2 lines, the original text uses the word secretly. It could be possible that when we do something like an act of taking pain for others, we may do it to win some kind of favor from others. That happens in our life from time to time. But then it is here said, secretly, I take all the pain and harm of others to myself, not showing to others, not showing to the other mother sentient beings, to get any kind of benefit, any kind of appreciation, any kind of, other benefits from them. So this is really important to notice that when we practice the bodhicitta, when we train ourselves into the conduct of the bodhisattva, it's very important that we should not seek for any kind of benefit to oneself. We should just do it for the benefit of others. But in reality, when we do it in that way, the benefit of that practice will definitely come to us, because there is a law of cause and effect that is kind of very accurate. There is no way that will kind of fault. So when we do train ourselves with that kind of mentality, that kind of sincerity, it will definitely come back to us. But the important thing here is we should not be thinking about that. We should not be kind of, expecting that kind of benefit. Without expecting any kind of benefit, we should do the help and supporting and do all kinds of acts to benefit others and make them happy. So then the next paragraph, the paragraph number 8, is Teda kunyan chöge time tokwe time mahwa chönum gyumar shebai shebe chimo chorla shebe chimo chorla. So now in this paragraph, beside the conventional way of training into the Bodhisattva's conduct is already explained in past 7 paragraphs or 7 verses. Now this 8th verses, it mainly teaches us how to train ourselves in a kind of ultimate approach, with an ultimate approach, with a kind of wisdom aspect, in the wisdom aspect of the path. Previously, they trained us to train ourselves into the method aspect of the path. Now this one focuses on how to train us or how to train oneself in the wisdom aspect of the path. And it says that may all these above prayers and practices remain free from the stains of 8 mundane values. This is an important part. It still deals about the conventional practice or kind of method aspect of the path. What is important here is whenever we do anything, it could be possible that whatever we do could be kind of contaminated by the 8 mundane values or 8 worldly dharmas. So 8 mundane values are like this. We do something to get something back. This is very common. We work in our daily life to get a salary or get wages, earn something. That's a mundane way of looking at it. And if we don't get any benefit, we don't do anything. So these are the very basic mundane values. And then if there is a possibility to get fame, like becoming famous in the society and becoming famous in the nation, something like that, then we do those things. If there is no chances at all to get famous in the society, in the community and so on, then we don't do those things. This is a very common thing. This is a very common approach of us in our life, in our day-to-day life. And then, if there is a possibility by doing such thing, we can be happy. We do those things. If there is no possibility to become happy by doing something, we avoid doing those things. And that's also very common. These are first set of doing, no doing, second set of doing, no doing, third set of doing, no doing. And then, if we see a possibility that if we do something, there is a possibility that our colleagues or maybe our friends or our kind of a partner or a kind of a son or daughter or mother or father may praise us or appreciate us, then we do that. To get personal appreciation, we do that. Now, if there is something that if we do those things, then we will be personally kind of, insulted, or personally get insulted, then we try to avoid those things. So these are the 4 set of the things. We do, we don't do, don't do, for specific purposes, or to avoid specific purposes. Now, these are the mundane values. The whole world function on these values. And this is very common for us, all of us. Now, when we train ourselves into the conduct of the Bodhisattva, it is very important. We need to avoid these things. We should not be doing or training ourselves into the conduct of the Bodhisattva to get something, with a wish to get something. Or we should not be doing that with a wish to avoid something, and with a wish to become famous, or with a wish to avoid defame, or with a wish to be happy, or with a wish to avoid unhappiness, or with a wish to kind of get some personal appreciation, or with a wish to avoid any kind of personal kind of insult or a scolding or something like that. So this is really important. When we train ourselves into the conduct of the Bodhisattva, we should be doing that just for the benefit of the beings. Beside that, not kind of any other benefit we must kind of try to avoid it. So this is a very important instruction here. And then finally it says, by understanding all phenomena as an illusion, may I be free from the bondage of clinging to samsara. So, understanding all the phenomena as an illusion. It could be quite difficult to understand how to understand all the phenomena as illusion, because it's not an illusion. But the thing is, all the phenomena are like an illusion. The beauty and the attraction that we see at this time may not remain in the way it appears to us at this time. So that is the meaning of like an illusion. Because illusion, like a magic, when you are looking at the magic show, things will appear to you at that moment. But if you try to go back after some time, try to find out the same thing, you won't see that over there. So it's an illusion. It's a magic. In the same way, whatever we see is not going to exist in the way that it appears to us at this moment. And there is another deeper meaning behind it. Whatever we see in them certain degree of intrinsic existence and intrinsic nature which doesn't exist in the way that we see it. For an example, maybe this could be a very helpful example. The concept of beauty. Concept of the beauty is always a very kind of helpful example. When a teenage boy is attracted by a teenage girl, to that boy, the attractive teenage girl to whom he gets attracted will appear like it is the most beautiful woman in the world. After a couple of days or after a couple of weeks, if they have a big fight, then to that same boy, the same girl may appear like, this is the most disgusting woman in the world. So where does the beauty lost? If the beauty is existing from the intrinsic nature, where it has gone? So it's just a creation of the mind. It is nothing that is existing in that substance. It is just a creation of the mind. It is just a labeling created by the mind and put on that. So the concept of the beauty is like that. In the same way, to that beautiful young woman, the man may appear like, this is the most attractive or most smart man in the world. But after the big fight, same thing, same kind of feeling. This is the most disgusting man I ever met. So like that. So the concept of beauty changes. So if the beauty is existing in that woman and that boy, it is not, there is no possibility that after the big fight they have that big change at all. So it's all dependent on the circumstances and conditions and all those things, and then it's completely a creation of the mind, a labeling that is imposed by one's mind. So in the same way, everything that is surrounding us is that way. If someone is deeply attracted to a car, like for example, today a friend of mine brought me to see Lamborghini. So Lamborghini could be kind of an extremely attractive car, but then after a couple of years, that car may not kind of have similar type of same level of attraction that person had had on the first encounter. If the kind of attraction is existing, something existing in the nature of their car, that should be there even after 5 years. So the thing is, in the same way, everything that is surrounding us, we have this certain degree of, exaggeration of the quality and the characteristics imposed on those things. So from that point of view, it's all like illusion. So we should try to understand everything that is surrounding us as an illusion. If we look at the things from that angle, then we could be very helpful. We could be kind of more capable to detach ourselves from these things. And even if something like a beautiful kind of flower pot is broken, that may not trigger that deep sense of loss or deep sense of pain, because we have this approach of understanding that as a kind of illusion. So this is a very important concept, but this can be explained in a very detailed, in a very profound manner if we learn it further, which kind of covers much deeper part of Buddhist learning. So with this, so it says, may I be free from the bondage of clinging to samsara. If we understand the things in that way, we will be free from the clinging. At presently, we are bound to the samsara by the clinging. All of our problems are product of the clinging to samsara. Like lot of problems, social problems, family problems, relationship problems, lot of problems are there. So I have tried to explain the 8 verses of mind training, and I hope you have learned something new.